I am live. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Creatively Lisa, high vibing in from Long Beach, California. Woo! So excited to be here. And this has been a fantastic week of just amazing things happening. And I was slid in at the last minute. So I'm sorry. I'm going to prep while I get started. So, how is your week going? I mean, this is a brand new year. It's amazing. I can't believe that it's already over halfway through the January. And I've been doing a lot of contemplation in my life. And what was it on I think the 14th or 15th of the month was the day that something like over 80%, I'll have to find the exact stat, but I think it's over 80% of everybody that set a resolution in the beginning of the year to change something, to experience something, to do something differently, to have a goal, whatever it was, lose weight, you name it. They stopped. They let go of it. It didn't even last a month. And it fascinates me how people in general, I mean, heck, I do it too from time to time, how we listen to that voice that's telling us we can't do it. When the truth is, we are so capable of doing it. And you want to know why? You want to know how? You know what the secret is? The secret is because you came up with the idea. It's because it set you on fire. That's how I know that you can do it, whatever it is, just so you know. So anyway, a little bit of tough love or huggy love, whatever you want to say. So there it is. Thanks, guys, for watching. So happy to see you both on here. Pierre and Natalie, thank you so much for watching. And on you guys too. I'm so excited to see everybody. Thank you. So I just, as I said, I've been doing a lot of contemplation. So today what we're going to talk about is what I want to go over. And I was thinking about this yesterday and this morning when I took my morning walk, the importance of play, the power of play with your pup. And I'm going to elaborate on that because it got me to really thinking. And it's not only the power of play with your pup, because that's like so important, but it's with yourself as well. And so how many times have you set what you want aside to go to work, to go do something else, and not giving yourself that time? Your pup is so important and you have to give time for them. And that's what we're going to go over, some really cool tricks and reasons and different ways that you can give that playtime and get that connection with your pup. But I also just want to elaborate a little bit and talk about for yourself too. I've allowed myself, and I will come clean, allowed myself to take the back seat to my life for a very long time. Must get this done, must get this done, must get this done. And then pretty soon you're down the road and you're like, wait a minute, I meant to do that. And I didn't do it because I didn't take the time. So a lot of reflection, a lot of changes. If we don't start making them and sticking with them, then we will be in the exact same place that we were last year. And I look back on so many things, and there's been a lot of stuff happening. And I'm in a different place, that's for sure. And it's taken the year to get me there. Did I enjoy the ride? Hell no. But I'm here. So we're going with it. So I'm oiling up because I didn't do that. I had to do my hair this morning, and it took a little longer than anticipated. So I'm getting all my morning stuffies done early. And then I'll finish everything else later. Anyway, okay. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. And let's get to it. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Let's get to it. So, we're talking about this is something that is so important. And I used to spend so much time videotaping and watching her when we did this. So, it is elevating your dog's energy with the power of play, like what that entails and why is it so important. Our pups' entire world is us, straight up. They maybe a squirrel from time to time outside, or a bird or something, or fuzzy friends, but in general it's us. If you have a choice, if they have a choice between go chasing a squirrel or hanging out with their friends, or you go, hey, Thule or whatever your pup's name is, they're going to come running. It's because you are what is important to them. However, we spend a lot of our time working. I work from home, so I spend a lot of my time working. And so this is what I get. She'd lay next to me and she just wouldn't have energy. And we'd go out and she'd be like, yeah, whatever. And so I got to paying attention to these things. And our pups do this. They need that stimulation. They need the physical stimulation. They need the visual, the hearing. Their ears are amazing. They need the stimulation. Their eyes, their nose stimulation. So games and different things. You will be surprised if when you keep that mind stimulated, that nose stimulated, how it just affects everything. And oops, it looks like I'm frozen on someplace. I hope I'm not. Looks like I am. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I am multi-streaming, multitasking. So on Instagram, it is absolutely perfect, but I am seeing an issue on. Let's see if it comes back. Well, no. Okay. We'll see what happens. Either it will connect or it won't. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I'm going to go with it and then I'll just transfer it over. So what we do is we allow our stuff to get in the way, and we don't do these things with our pup as much as we need to. So I want to go over some fun things that will be, I think, just as enjoyable for you as it will be for your pup, and why it's so important. When you start at a very young age of working with your pup with, I call them nose games. So they have to constantly be smelling for stuff. What you're training them, it's done with treats and different things, but what you're training them is you're training them to really enhance their nose so that they can smell you. I'll tell you a funny story and then I'll get on with it. I was out walking Thule, and her boyfriend, a schnauzer, lived next door in the building next door. And we were out walking, and we were on the last section of our walk. On the way back home, we'd been out for a while, and all of a sudden, her nose went in the air. And she looked, and she started crying. Oh, 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 oh. And I thought, what's going on? And she looked like concerned. And she wasn't on a leash or anything. So I was like, okay, go. I told her, okay, go. And off she went. And so now I'm chasing behind her. And she looked back every once in a while to make sure I was there because she wasn't going far. And I told her it was okay. Sure enough, we went all the way down the alley to the next block over, made a sharp left turn on that block, crossed the street on that block, and went all the way down to the very end. Now, this is a block and a half away, diagonal. There was her boyfriend. She wanted to play with him. And that's all it was. She smelled him from a block and a half away. She smelled him. And that is the power of their nose. And when you can train that and work with that, oh my gosh, you will be amazed at what you can come up with and what you can do. I would play different games. And so this is what we're going to get into. So interactive games. That's number one. The power of play, why it's so important, how to elevate your dog's energy. Number one is interactive games. And so what we would do is I called it hide and seek, find the treat. And I would make her sit in an area. So you put your dog in an area, make them sit and stay in a room that they can't see what you're doing. And you take treats. And I've done, I talked about this in another live, and there's also reels on fantastic ways to give them treats, but you're actually giving them high quality dog food and they don't know the difference. And you're more cost effective, and they're tiny little pieces. So you get them these little treats, and you literally put them throughout your entire house, like in corners and crevices, under things, on top of things, everywhere. You put these little treats everywhere. And when you got it all done, her sign was find it. And I taught that at an early age. Find it was one of the things that I taught her. So she would always go find things like really easily. So find it. And off that nose would go. And she would just through the whole house, everywhere, every corner, every crevice, everywhere. And then I would go with her. So it was so fun to watch. Her nose and her mind and her eyes are going, and she's looking for it everywhere. And then when she went through the whole house, and if she missed any, then I would go back and go, hey, you're getting colder, warmer. And I would make noises around that. So she knew, and she would go back to certain areas and she would find them. And you would see the satisfaction on her face when she would be like, oh, there it is. And she'd find it in like a hard place or on top of something. It was so much fun. And you're training their nose. Another fun way to train their nose is you have somebody watch them and say no, and keep them keep them sit, and then you go hide somewhere else, and then the person goes, after a few minutes, the person goes, okay, find her, and then they run through the whole house looking for you. So you're training that nose. So it's working their brain, it's working their nose, you're training them, and you're building that connection with them, all with one little game. And that's an interactive game. So there's tons of them, though. There's puzzle pieces and little puzzles that you can get with treats go in, and it moves around and they have to move it. There's all kinds of games. So interactive games are fantastic. But that one specifically, because it's with you, you're interactive in it with them, and it makes it more fun for you. It gives you a break from your day to day, and you will build the connection and the bond so much stronger. So that's number one. Number two is fetch and tug of war. And that's pretty much easy. That's an outdoor thing typically. And what you can also train them to do and really strengthen their eye coordination with their mouth is to catch the ball in the air or bounce and catch, and the same thing with like a Frisbee works with that too. But you're training their eye to mouth coordination. And so that's actually working multiple things as well. Just like the nose and their brain, this is working their eyes and everything as well. So it's another fantastic game for that. And then tug of war. This is just, and let them win. Let them win sometimes. They win, you win. I got it, you got it. And they will just continue to play with you. And you're just building that connection and that bond. She loved to play catch. I got it to where I could throw the ball and catch it. And then she was a goalie also. She wanted me to roll it across the floor, and she would go back and forth, and she was a goalie, and she'd catch it, and that was just the funnest thing. It was fun for me too. So it was interactive, and it was fun and engaging for me, cleared my head, and it was great for them as well. So that's number two. Number three, and this one's fun. This one is really fun. And this is when you get a bunch of people together that have dogs, like-minded people. Sometimes it's done in pet stores as well. This is where I discovered it at, and it is so much fun. Doggy social hour. So it's like a play date, but it's with your pup. So you get friends or other people on board, and you meet somewhere, whether it's at a park, you bring snacks and stuff for you bring snacks and stuff for them, and they just have a blast. I used to go to a pet store that used to have this and would invite all their clients in. They close the doors, No dogs were on a leash. They had open food for them, treats. There were sometimes vendors, and they would do it once a month. And they would have snacks and treats for the adults and for the pups. And it was such an engaging experience because the pups got to know that you were there. You got to interact with other people, and they got to play, and it was social for them. So they learned a lot of social skills, what to do, what not to do. And it's so much fun as well. Again, it's interactive with you. The more you can do with them like this, the more you're going to build a deeper connection and build a symbiont. I call it a symbiotic relationship. You're just with them. You do things together. It's easy. They trust you. They look for you. They check you out. And you pretty soon, the more you do this, the more that connection builds. You'll get to a point to where they listen to you so well. They respect you. They trust you. And they know you're doing nothing but the best for them as well. So that's number 3. Number 4 is playful training sessions. Now, these are fun. You can do it a couple different ways. There are these places called Zoom rooms. Little zoomies, you know, the dogs do the zoomies. They're called Zoom rooms. So you can go and you can rent time. And there's these agile exercises, all these different things all over the place. And your dog can go and do agility exercises and agility training. It's training them. You're working with them the entire time, and they're learning how to balance and go through things. That's one way to incorporate the training sessions, a playful training session. And then also just bring your treats. And find something that you want to work on with them. Short bursts, though, because you don't want to continue doing it for like a half hour, 45 minutes. They're not going to be focused. You need to do short bursts, 10 minutes, 15-minute training sessions, have some treats with you as well, and then work with a couple different fun things and make it really engaging and really fun. The basics are easy. Sit, stay, lay down, come, wait is another one. All of these are basic. And then you can take it a step further and teach them fun things to do. Like my stepfather used to teach him to salute. Yes, he was in the military. So he taught him to salute. He taught Thule to sit pretty. And so she would sit up on her hind and sit pretty. I taught her to hold hands. We would hold hands. I called it holding hands. I didn't like shake. I liked holding hands. So we did that. So you can teach them these things and make it really fun. And I would teach her to relax. Just think of things that would be helpful for training with them and helpful and fun for them as well. And just take little short bursts, maybe 10-minute sessions at most, just a couple, 2 or 3 times. And the more you can do this, they're going to gain so much respect for you and trust with you that you'll be amazed at how quickly they respond. And if you're having an animal that's not listening to you, that's you're not training properly, they are constantly doing things they're not supposed to, peeing and all kinds of things, there's something missing. And no matter what people say, I know it was me too. I'm going to call it out, and you may not like this, but if there's something going on with your pup, it's 100% you. It's like it was 100% me. It was us, not them. If they've got behavioral issues, or they're jumping on dogs or people or whatever, or they get too wild and crazy, it's us. It all comes back to us. It's our temperament. It's our mood. It's how we're training them, if we're even training them, and how we're staying consistent on everything. Even if they learn something, you have to keep doing it over time, off and on, regularly, so that they remember it. So they remember it and they continue to do it. And so all of this, the more you do it, you'll notice that those behavioral issues, lack of trust, they don't listen, all these things will slowly disappear, because the more you're working with them, the more you're building that connection and that bond, and they trust you so much. So these are so important. And the most important thing, I think, of all this is to always be having fun. If you're always having fun, then it's a win-win across the board. Take pictures too. You will be surprised and you'll be so pleased to look back on those pictures as your pup gets older and changes, to have those pictures of doing all these funny things that you guys do. I look back over mine periodically, and it just makes my heart smile. Makes my heart smile. So let loose, be silly, do fun things, and just remember to just give them the time and energy, but give yourself the time and energy that is necessary to be fulfilled, to be happy, to be present in the moment and be grounded. Give yourself that time that you need, and take the time with them any chance you get, because they're in our life for a brief period of time, unfortunately. Brief period of time in the big scheme of things. So take that time. It's just as good for you as it is for them. And give them that attention and that love that they so crave, because really, we're it. That's it. We are their everything. We are their everything. And we've got to remember that and respect it. Respect it, because they chose us. They did. Oh, this one always moves me because I just love the games and the fun times. So more tips are coming. More things are coming. If you like what you're learning, like what you're hearing, then comment pup tips. I have a 12 tips for you and your pup to vibe high for many, many years to come, and I will happily send it your way. It's also going to put you on my email list. I have lots of things coming up that I'm changing and I'm doing, and I've just put together some different booklets that are going to be very helpful to holistic living, and you guys get them first. You get to try them out, check them out, and let me know what your thoughts are on them. And events, doing events too, and just all kinds of different things coming up. So my goal is to help live in a much more high vibrational, holistic life with your pup. Build that connection, and sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. So again, pup tips, if you want my 12 tips, and you have to wait till after the video is done, and I actually put it on Instagram for it to be on there. But comment that and I'll get that right over to you. Today's Friday. I've got one more live tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about it. It's on the things to be grateful for, the things that we don't think about that our pups give us, that change our life in a profound way. And if we stop and look at it, it's pretty interesting. So that's what I'm going to go talk about tomorrow, and I might throw some other things in there too. And then next week, I actually have some people coming on and talking about different things. We have one on mineral water. It's a type of black water that was discovered that was helping animals so much. And then we found out also that she found out also that it was so helpful for humans, and done all this testing and everything. And it's pretty powerful. And so I've got them coming on next week, I believe next Thursday. We're fine tuning it now to get the exact date and time in, but I think it's going to be next Thursday. And we're going to talk about this type of water that has all these amazing minerals and stuff for your pup and you too. So it's good for both of you. So win-win. Again, I always say, I like being able to take, Tuli and I took the same supplements. We took the same stuff. And I liked being able that was the case. Her food, it was all dog food. It was for her specifically, but it was grass-fed beef burgers and organic vegetables. It was human grade, so I could eat it too. But I got it for her. So I made my own. So I'm always looking at things that can be utilized for both. Whole line of supplements and everything I take, she took too, and it made a difference as well. So I like doing things that is good for both us and them. And then we also know that theoretically that the quality is much higher as well. So that's a wonderful thing. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And I'm excited to see you tomorrow on the last day of the High Vibe Dog Series week of all kinds of crazy, wonderful things. And I will see you tomorrow. Remember, always create something magnificent with your pup.